Yeah, so the order of these, we're going to start with the Irish Independent this morning. The back page of the Irish Independent is all about the bonanza of money that we're going to see for the GAA this weekend. I have it right here. GAA poised for 3 million bonanza. That's primarily due to the fact that so many people are actually going to go to games this weekend. A bit of controversy is brewing at the moment because the game on Saturday between Wexford and Clare is not going to be on TV, which is really annoying considering that most of the championship season in the hurling has been on TV so far and everybody's got really into it. And
is it because it's what time is that at? 5 o'clock, is it? Why couldn't it be? Oh, because of the restrictions on the amount of games that can be shown.
I think so, yeah, I think that's it.
It must be the only reason. It has to be. Like, unless, I'm just trying to think, unless Sky didn't have the game, RTE have it and have to show the third place playoff or something in the World Cup, but that wouldn't make any sense. It's a 5 o'clock.
Imagine that. I mean, you could accidentally go, our link to Russia is down and we can't play the game. Oh, look, we have cameras. Are one of the best hurling games of the season so far? I don't know. Look, we'll try and get to the bottom of that. Guardiola said to I don't care about transfer news. Riyad Mahrez is joining Man City. Who cares? Transfers. World Cup semi-final day. Can't be talking transfers on World Cup semi-final day. The back page of the Times Ireland edition. Celtic ready to face the heat. If we can't be talking about transfers, what the hell are we doing talking about the Champions League qualifiers? But Yerevan apparently 39 degrees Celtic in Champions League qualifier action against Alashkert.
It's a big one.
There you go. And Paul Gascoigne is apparently going to fly to Moscow so he can shed tears all these years later. Somebody's flying out in a private airplane. Gaza, not really a brilliant human being either, himself and Diego Maradona. US Navy to spearhead O'Brien's July Cup Armada is the Racing Post headline, and tracks hatch plans for World Cup final clash. This is potential for racing to start early on Sunday if England reach the World Cup final. Wimbledon are like, screw you buddies, we understand there's a big gang going out, we don't care. The Wimbledon men's final is going to start at exactly the same time.
The Wimbledon organisers have been pretty upfront about this. They were like, there was a fantastic atmosphere on Saturday when people were actually watching it on their mobile devices. Technology has moved on to the point where you can sit at centre court and not watch Roger Federer play, watch it on your phone. You've just been told in your ear that...
I have, yeah, the Clare Max was live on TV. I got completely good information yesterday from somebody who was complaining about having to go to the game. It was like, oh, that game's on TV, I have to go to it. Sue Murphy, I'm looking at you.
I was thinking that.
Clare vs Wexford, live on TV on Saturday afternoon. That's brilliant.
Live on RTE, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
There you go.
Yeah, I did know that, but I then got...
Oh, why did you fix it?
Well, because you said it with such conviction that I was like, there must be something else on at 3 o'clock, and I've misread whatever game that is.
There's 3 live games on Saturday.
Yeah.
Tyrone Roscommon is live on Sky. Dublin Donegal is live from Croker at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's going to be some game.
Yeah, like RTE have completely won this weekend over Sky. They've got the 2 provincial finalists up against each other. The both provincial finalist games. They've got Kerry Galway and Dublin Donegal. How that managed to happen, I'm not sure. I think it was due to the fact that Dublin Donegal was supposed to take place on the Sunday, and then the GAA realised that the World Cup final is on Sunday, and for some reason they moved the Dublin fans away from the World Cup final. I'm not going to speculate about or cast any aspersions about any stereotypes that Dublin fans potentially would have chosen the World Cup final over the Dubs. But clearly the GAA saw something there that required Kerry and Galway to clash with the World Cup final and not Dublin versus Donegal. And that, I understand, is the reason.
What time's kick-off in the World Cup final?
4 o'clock.
Oh, perfect. So Kildare Monaghan, go to the game, watch Kildare beat Monaghan, stroll home, catch the World Cup final. Happy days.
And under the radar, Kerry slip as they destroy Galway at 4 o'clock.
6:22 to no score, and everybody goes, what happened in that game? That didn't really happen.
I'm obviously being highly sarcastic because, you know, it is 1966 all over again this year.
I mean, that is a mad parallel.
It is a mad parallel, and it, you know, there's a lot of
After England get beaten by Croatia, it'll be completely irrelevant.
Well, you know, it could be. There's a lot of droughts that need to be ended. Galway's Duck and Croke Park, one of them.
Yeah, so there, just to confirm, Clare and Wexford live on RTE, 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock Tyrone Roscommon and Croker on Sky, and Dublin Donegal live on RTE at 7 o'clock. Him or me is the front page headline on the Examiner Sports. Fellaini's already seen off Brazil. Are Pogba and France next? No. Fellaini won't be the one who comes off the bench and
starts probably.
No. Will he?
Well, he will start.
Definitely?
I think so. I think he will start. Chadley might drop to the bench. Like in terms of crap Premier League midfielders who were involved in this Belgium squad, the crap Premier League midfielder who's probably going to be benched is Nasser Chadli.
Okay, and then so they're also talking about the new out half who has signed for Ulster. They've signed an Irish qualified out half, so their search for an out half draws to a close. And another one, Colin Corrigan calls for a long-term approach to Cork football crisis. Cork football, proper crisis. Now, all the ex-players, anybody who's ever been involved, is coming out and talking about it and trying to have their tuppence worth and try and save Cork football.
Yeah, it's going to take some saving. Like Coleman Corrigan, good stuff there, chatting to Ron Cormac in the Examiner, chatting about the need for review of the county championship, the need for kind of, I guess, investment, not in a financial sense, but an investment from the likes of Conor Coonahan and Billy Morgan once again, and having somebody like Frank Murphy opening the gates to them to get back involved at all levels, and also looking at development squads again is another point that Coleman's making.
Belgium's golden generation stand on the brink of greatness is the front page on Sports Tuesday in the Irish Times. England aware of Modric and Rakitic threat. You'd hope so at this stage. Is the story about England the day out from that game. France and Belgium live from 7 o'clock tonight. Commentary on the Beeb for that one. And then the Jim McGuinness column today is Kildare are the great white hope for the Super 8s. Now, I much preferred it when everybody was like, oh, Mayo are going to finish off Kildare after they had their little stage during the week with the Newbridge or nowhere thing. That was just all a load of nonsense. Mayo clearly going to beat them, and then it was like, oh, they had the celebration on the pitch. That's too much for Mallow lying and waiting in the long grass. And sure, Jesus, didn't Carlo beat this Kildare team, and aren't Fermanagh just a better version of... I much prefer that to the, oh, this Kildare team are really good. They could actually do stuff. I'm like, don't like that. That's not good. Shh, everybody, shh.
Yeah.
Kildare no good. Won't keep the ball kicked out at the weekend. Won't keep the ball kicked out in that group. Definitely won't win a game or maybe two.
Well, the thing is, like, so it's such a huge game from a Kildare perspective on Sunday that if they win that on Sunday, you're now looking at them as in a very healthy position in terms of making an All-Ireland semi-final, because obviously the following week then Galway come to Newbridge, and Kildare look at Galway, they look at anybody really, bar maybe the top three counties like Dublin, Donegal and Kerry coming to Newbridge, and they think they can beat them. They think they can beat Galway in Newbridge. So if they end up winning this game in Croke Park on Sunday, there's no end to what Cian O'Neill's side can do. It's a huge occasion for them, and I'm actually, I'm not sure does it make me sick to say it, but I'm delighted for your boys. I'm delighted for them. I'm happy to see your county do well.
It's great to be patronised by Kerry people. Eddie McGinley was making some good points last night to interject a little bit of reality to this whole thing, but he also has some pretty high hopes for Kildare. Speaking with Joe last night,
it's the angles of runs is one thing, and you need multiple players doing that, because if it's only one player, that'll always be closed down because the pass is essentially telegraphed because there's only one player coming off your shoulder. But it's as well as that, and this is where Dublin tore Tyrone to shreds and tore many teams to shreds. It's that all of them wee passes, they have to be got perfect. The man, his run can't be interrupted, the handling has to be sweet, and the timing of them passes all have to be perfect. And then at times there'll be a missed pass and a man will dip the shoulder and go into the space, and because if you're always laying it off, that's also easy to start to read, certainly for the better teams. But they didn't all the time. Sometimes it was flicked, sometimes it was held, sometimes it was given off, sometimes they just dropped the shoulder and went. Because of their power and speed, they have the options to do the dip the shoulder and go. Yeah. But obviously as footballers, the mistake count is really low and their decision making is coming up. But most of all, it's confidence. Like you can't suddenly become them athletes, you can't suddenly become them footballers in a matter of a month. So the only thing that has changed here for Kildare is confidence. Yeah. And if you're writing a thesis on confidence at the minute, Kildare is that team. And I tell you what, seeing how they're moving, you could not write off what that team is going to do in the rest of this. Like if they came running into Dublin now, I would almost doubt the results, such as the power and that confidence that Kildare's playing at. So I think it's a difficult game for Monaghan now, running into them at a full head of steam, because Kildare's coming very, very strong.
Not getting carried away. Definitely, we're all not getting carried away in Kildare. We are definitely not getting carried away.
Do you believe in momentum now?
No. So here's the thing: the playing these games week in a row all of a sudden isn't an issue because teams have confidence. So like it swings and roundabouts. I do believe in confidence. That's different from momentum. Like a team gets confidence. especially within games, I don't really believe in such a thing as momentum. Like, I just don't see any proof for it or any evidence that it really exists.
Monaghan are confident too. Let's not forget that. They're starting to...
So you could say both teams have momentum, so therefore it's irrelevant, right?
Well, you know...
Whose momentum is greater? Well, that's not really how momentum works. I mean, obviously, in a physical sense, it probably is exactly how it works, but I think it's just it's like hunger. Oh, they were more hungry today. Or maybe they had better players and better tactics.
Yeah, it's not quite on the level of hunger.
It is. It's almost exactly the same. It's meaningless. It's become so abused to be meaningless at this point.
On a tangible note, do Kildare fancy themselves in Croke Park more than Monaghan fancy themselves in Croke Park? I think there's a case to be made for that Kildare are kind of less shitting it walking onto the pitch on Sunday than Monaghan are.
Two teams with equally bad records in Croker.
That is true, but Kildare kind of have... They've certainly had more good days in Croke Park than Monaghan, which isn't saying much.
I mean, spiritually, yeah, like all the way back to 98 and 2000, but not since. Not a whole heap of great days since. A few games under McGeeney, beat Monaghan. I think, was that game in Croker? I think it was. There was an All-Ireland quarter-final against Meath. Beat Meath a couple of years in a row.
Meath in 2010?
2010, beat Meath in the All-Ireland quarter-final.
That was the weekend all the provincial winners got knocked out.
Yeah, that would have been Croker, wouldn't it?
It would have, of course, yeah.
Beat Meath in the fourth round of qualifiers, but that game wasn't in Croker for, if memory serves. Anyway, there's a few, but not, like there's no survivors from that team still playing, so not hugely relevant.
Yeah, like the thing about Cian O'Neill as well is given his strength and conditioning background, like he'll have this sectioned off to a T at this point, the Kildare run through the Super 8s. The thing is obviously going to carry on the last day is an ideal, so it makes the first two games so important. And the strength and condition, like the whole week in, week out nature of this is suiting somebody like Cian O'Neill down to the ground.
I hope so, yeah, definitely. Look, you would be unbelievably excited as a Kildare supporter at the moment with how things have turned around.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's all you're asking for.
Are you done?
Done.
Back page of the Herald this morning is De Bruyne, a believer. Talent, hard work and luck will see off French for a place in the final. You've got McLean fined by West Brom as exit nears as well. So it looks like James McLean is going to move closer to the exit door from West Brom. He hasn't gone on tour with them, or they began a training camp, I should say, in Scotland, and James McLean did not show up. You've also got your girls greeted. There's Sophie O'Sullivan, Sarah Healy and Rashida Adeleke after returning home to Dublin Airport after a phenomenal weekend at the Under-18 European Athletics Championships.
Yeah, we got some pictures of that. The Sarah Healy with her 2 goals, Rashida Adeleke with her gold, and Sophie O'Sullivan with her silver. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's an absolutely sensational performance. And then the Under-20 World Championship is to come this weekend.
Yeah, so you'll have the likes of Gina Akpa-Moses back in the game, and all of a sudden you're kind of sitting around. Like, Adeleke is running at the weekend. She's 15 years old, running in the Under-20s. It's in the relay, granted, but that's still amazing. Pretty
happy we got the O'Sullivan to declare for Ireland as opposed to declare for Australia. You think it's not too late? Do you want to move?
No, there has been no decision made.
But she's running for Ireland now.
The decision will have to be made at senior level. She's by no means, as they say, closed book.
All right.
I've got a feeling this is going to become a big story.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No, this is another Trevor Brennan situation.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Well, you'd like to think.
Oh come on! Like surely she's never going to have that experience again.
No, and I mean, think of
the windswept Ireland that you can live in rather than the sun-kissed golden coast of Australia.
Like she has represented Australia at under-15 level.
Under 15, we can forget that. It's fine.
Yeah. So hopefully,
come on, Sonia, sort us out.
You'd like to think she will. On the back page of the Irish Daily Mail this morning, it's video nasty. Croat coach ditched after Russian row. This is a great story here from Ian Herbert. Well, not a great story, but I haven't seen it anywhere else really. The Croatians have removed former international Ognjen Vukojevic. He's only 34 years old, so he was part of their delegation. Himself and Domago Vida, who of course scored that header on Saturday, posted a video where Vida shouts, he used to play for Dynamo Kiev, glory to Ukraine, before Vukojevic, who also had a lengthy spell with Dynamo, adding, "This is for Dynamo and this is for Ukraine." And of course that sparked some Russian anger. Why the hell would Croatia be doing it? Well, the Ukrainians were on Croatia's side in the Yugoslav war. The Russians were on the Serbian side in the Yugoslav war, and that's the historic animosity there. That's why apparently they put those views on video, but Vukojevic has been sent home. Vida, from what I can see, hasn't been sanctioned yet. So it's all coming up England. This is the sort of story that England need. It's like
what's the story about Modric potentially having to go to prison
over the withholding information or not giving the honest information regarding the Croatian Football Association investigation?
Is it okay?
That's the story. That's why the people back home hated him pre-tournament.
Yeah.
And then they beat Argentina, and all that stuff was forgotten. And Liam Brady on RTE was like, that investigation is going to be forgotten about. And then Darren Maloney's like, you can't be saying that. And Liam Brady's like, I guarantee you that investigation is going to be forgotten about. So it'll be interesting to see if he's right. The other story on the back of the Irish Daily Mail is blow for Sky as RTE snap up headline games, which I was mentioning at the top of the show there. RTE are going to show both games involving the provincial champions. Kildare v Monaghan will clash with RTE's live broadcast of Limerick Kilkenny. So that's the other thing here. If you're sitting at home and you've got to choose between Limerick Kilkenny and Monaghan v Kildare, what are you choosing? You're choosing Kildare.
What? Limerick Kilkenny's on
Sky.
Right.
So no, Limerick Kilkenny is on RT. Sorry, Kildare v Monaghan's on Sky. So the hurling will probably get the pick there from whoever's a neutral at home. The back page of the Mirror is crow for it. Southgate keeps faith with his proven men for Croatia crunch match with place and final now the big prize. While the back of the Sun goes for it's not Thierry's, it's mine. And you've got There's No Ills of Donegal.
Do you know that? Do you know what that is a reference to?
Yes, Dawn French and Terry Chocolate.
Hey, okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm getting old, Jared, that I start to...
Well, hang on a second now. Do we have the picture of Conor McCaskey celebrating? We don't. We do, yeah. Can we put it up? Okay. So at the weekend, there was an unbelievably taunting celebration from Conor McCaskey after scoring a goal for Tyrone against Cork. At least that's what most of the world, including Owen Sheehan, who is supposed to be a proper millennial, he's like, oh my God, McCaskey, look at him making the loser sign. Look at that. How cruel. How taunting. How degrading for his opposition. He should be banned for life. But actually, apparently it's a Fortnite celebration. What's Fortnite, Owen?
Fortnite is a video game, and I was...
You hadn't a clue.
I know what Fortnite is.
You hadn't a clue of the celebration.
I know that you can play a game mode called Battle Royale on Fortnite. I know that you've got guns in it, and you can kill people in it.
There you go. So if we could just get the Fortnite fans to be the same as the EA Sports fans towards Owen, what's your Twitter handle?
At Owen Sheehan. It's my name.
Okay.
It's my name without a space. But anyway,
he thinks Fortnite's shit, by the way. That's what he was saying off air.
It actually looks quite good.
Fortnite's for losers, is what he was saying.
It is for losers. You're a loser if you play Fortnite. You're not really. On the back page of the Irish Daily Star, it's Public Enemy Deschamps gunning for old pal Henri. And Andre says, I'll outfox England. That's Kramaric saying that he's going to outfox the English, as the headline suggests. The back page of The Guardian is Jordan Pickford. He's got the world in his hands, says the story here. Neville Southall writing for The Guardian. And The Telegraph has got a World Cup special, World at Their Feet. These 23 kids all dreamed of playing in a World Cup final for England. Tomorrow they can make that a reality. We speak to those who helped make it happen.
All right, two quick stories for you. Lewis Hamilton's in the newspapers today. Kimi Räikkönen's missus is telling him to stop crying like a baby.
Yeah. So
like a ballet.
Yeah, so at the British Grand Prix at the weekend, Kimi Räikkönen basically hit the back of Lewis Hamilton and spun him on the first lap, and Hamilton kind of went full paranoia after that, saying that it's like twice in 3 races that a Ferrari driver had collided with a Mercedes driver. This is, can we get up?
That's Lewis Hamilton's.
Yeah, that's Lewis Hamilton's.
Kimi said, sorry, I accept.
This is Kimi Räikkönen's wife saying, if you cry like a girl when you lose, do ballet, #just saying. And as we could see, lo and behold, the most incredible thing we've ever seen. Lewis Hamilton actually fessing up to some wrongdoing. Well, not really. He actually said that Kimi said sorry, and I accepted and we move on. It was a racing incident and nothing more. Sometimes we say dumb shit and we learn from it. And he followed up by saying, "I'm so disappointed in myself after yesterday's race when I left you all with the perception of a sore loser, as honestly I don't feel I am. And worst most of all," I'm not sure what that means.
Whoa, this is good. This is like
allowed
a bad
you,
rap.
Allowed you many the opportunity to shit on me, lay false claims to my name, of which my family and I have worked so hard for. But you know what? It's okay. I can accept that I deserve it mostly, and will try to do better and be better. Hashtag still I rise. So, kind of, is the mask slipping of the bad boy Lewis Hamilton? Has he started to soften up a bit and say, "Listen, I need to take some blame here"? Of course, granted, it wasn't really an apology, but you see what I'm trying to say here. Like the Lewis Hamilton of old would have been like, "Screw Kimi Räikkönen, I'm not backing down."
He's basically the best computer game player in the world at the moment. That's what these drivers are these days. So hard to get too excited about it.
I'm not sure.
It's like a physical version of esports. Ultimately, that's what people are going. Oh.
I wonder, is it harder to drive a Formula 1 car or harder to be good at Fortnite?
Conor McGregor, the other thing that we need to bring you before we get to our next item. This is a sculptor. It does not look like a sculptor at all. So Gareth A. Davis brought this to our attention on Twitter. An amazing sculpture, hyper-realistic sculpture worth 50 grand, which celebrated artist Aspen Crow has made for Conor McGregor. It's like he's giving it to McGregor. It's a brilliant piece of marketing from this dude, because obviously every billionaire is going to want one, every dictator in the world is going to want one, and they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, get me the McGregor dude." With a quick look at the video here of it. And this is the start of it. He's doing it with a knife. I didn't realize doing it with a knife. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. I would have assumed that it was somehow like a computer generated thing, but
why couldn't they get this guy to do the Ronaldo bust?
Well, then the Ronaldo bust would have been too good and we would never have known about it.
Well, that's true, actually. I mean, this is probably going to be far less famous than the Ronaldo bust. If Conor McGregor's ego was actually as big as we thought it was, he would have got a really bad statue of himself made and it would have been far more famous.
That would have been a good idea, actually. All right, so that's it. And the European papers, finally, very quickly, L'Équipe and HLN from Belgium, une fois. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock French and Belgian time. It's pretty boring front page, really, you gotta say. Maak ons gek. Not a clue what that means. Not very good at my Flemish. Any idea? Make us go crazy. There you go.
Well, there you go. That's it's an amazing the way that the Belgian just enlightened you there, or the Flemish just kind of came into your mind out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right.